Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sales Hustle Club. I am so excited to see all of you this morning, ready to have a fantastic close of a month. I know March happened so rapidly. It happened so quickly. It is almost over. And if you're like many, if you're like many of the salespeople out in the world today, closing out the month is where it's all at. We got to get it closed out. We got to get ready for a new month. This is a little bit different today. We're going to be talking about something that if you're in sales or you're in management, I want you to both listen to this message because I want you to understand how you can take the feedback that you get if you're in sales from a sales manager, how it can affect your world, but how to avoid it. And if you are that sales manager that is putting the undue pressure on your sales team, understand the effect that you have on your team and how it will ultimately challenge your team to be the best that they can be. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Without further ado, I want to get started here. Why owners are terrible sales managers. Now, I tell this story because I was a terrible sales manager. Why was I a terrible sales manager? Well, when you are the owner and you are also the sales manager, what happens with that equation is understand the philosophy of job roles, right? If I'm the owner of a company and I have payroll on Friday and sales are not there, what is my sales meeting going to be like on Monday morning if my team isn't getting it done, isn't closing the business? Now, whether it's a market condition, whether the product's not available, whatever the scenario is, I want you to imagine for a moment my mindset going into the week when I know I got payroll on Friday and the team is not doing what they need. Now, I'm not saying it's their fault. It could be lots of people's faults why the team is not getting it done. But when I get on a call with my team and I give them that added pressure that I feel because I got payroll, right? I have payroll on Friday. When you have that level of pressure, you're going to take that pressure all the way down to every single member of the team, and it will become a challenge. They will feel that pressure. And you know what happens under pressure? It makes us do things that we would not normally do. And that added pressure goes into the conversations with our customers. It adds to the pressure when we get on a phone with a prospect, and that desperation will land with the client. And when you start allowing that scarcity mindset to seep into your language, you're going to have a negative consequence. And, I learned this strategy behind not having owners be sales managers. Now, sometimes it's unavoidable because your organization can't afford maybe a sales manager. But listen, if you are the owner of the company and you're watching this, I hope to give you some tips and just things to be aware of so you don't allow that pressure to seep down into a conversation with your team. Because understand this, we are just energy. The whole purpose of what we do every single day, as soon as the sun comes up, as that sun is shining and spreading energy. In the morning, I try to find a way outside to receive that energy because I know that I am a ball of energy and my energy is going to help supply me with more energy. A good owner is going to just give energy to their team, not take away. So you have to be very conscious about how you communicate with your team so that you give them energy and not take it away. And it starts with their own energy. I had to learn that I had to work on my own process in the morning to get my energy in the right place. And it's taken me years. I'm still practicing it. And today I did my own practice just to make sure that my energy was right on this call. But understand, if you are a ball of energy and you are a management, you're managing energy of others. If you're in sales, you're managing your energy and how you come across to your clients and your prospects when you go out into the world and you're selling. So your energy affects everyone. It just flows right through you onto them. The problem with owners being sales manager, it tends to create them to micromanage. Okay. And because of their worry, they'll start going, well, I need to know every single minute of the day what you're doing. That doesn't work, folks. It never has worked. The reason they do that is because they feel like if they add that pressure, they're going to get the result. The fact is, and why we use CallProof, and many of you use CallProof, because the data is there. If you want to see how your team is doing, just look at the data. How many calls, how many face-to-face visits are they doing the daily disciplines of selling? And any owner can go in there and look at that. Salespeople can use that to manage their day and see more people. But the problem is, when you have an owner that is also the sales manager, they're not managing their energy right. They're going to pass the negativity. They're going to pass the stress. And the energy is coming from the top to the bottom. And the scarcity mindset is going to really affect them. Now, if you're in sales and you have a manager who is giving you that pressure, you need to acknowledge that the place he is coming from and giving you that pressure is not something for you to pay attention to. I'll say that again. Learn to ignore someone else's scarcity so it doesn't affect your day. If you are doing the work to be successful, you're going to have sales. If you are making the calls, you're doing the follow-up, and you're doing all the daily disciplines of sales, you are fine. Learn to ignore that. Learn to ignore anything that affects your energy, because if you get in the wrong mindset that way, it's just going to show up. Desperation does not get you more sales. It never has. If you go about it with the right attitude, when you're talking to customers, you're going to be fine. But I want you to acknowledge and just recognize that the pressure of an owner is going to cause language that will affect your sales. So just learn how to ignore it. Learn to just be aware that that is even there. Now, what's the solution for an owner or a sales manager? Maybe a sales manager is receiving pressure from the owner, right? Acknowledge that. Also recognize, okay, owner's got this pressure. He's giving me pressure. I don't need to pass the pressure. I could absorb the pressure because I'm strong, and I'm going to talk and support my team in the right way. And so understand that your role as a sales leader is ultimately assist them in creating the daily activity habits for success. And you just need to support them and take obstacles out of their way. If we are making them go to meetings that aren't adding value into the sales process, or those meetings are at times of the day that it's best for me to go see clients, adjust the schedule, arrange the resources available so the team can get more done. If you have something in your system, your sales system, that's keeping them from being productive or draining their energy before they go see customers, understand, again, we are just balls of energy. You are the sun. You get to determine what light they receive, and you want to give them the best opportunity. That means we have to have their energy alive and kicking every single day. Be sensitive to this. Now, sales organizations, from my experience, are really bad at sales meetings, okay? Because they don't look at it in the right way. Now, if you have an agenda that is posted that you stick to every single week, you're going to leverage the opportunities to have a better experience for the salespeople. Salespeople dislike sales meetings that are run ineffectively. If you don't go to your sales meeting and get energy, then stop having a sales meeting. And this goes for both parties. If you are a sales leader and you're running a sales meeting and you come away drained, then your team is walking away also drained. Listen, you should have an attitude as, I am coming in with light and energy to power my team. I want them freaking psyched. I want them excited. I want them so jazzed up that they're literally trying to email or trying to make calls or text messages to clients while they are on the sales call with you. Now, many of you, if you're lucky enough, can do a face-to-face sales meeting, which I love, but also kind of challenging with time, especially for field salespeople. Find a way. If you can do it in person, that's great, but always do it with people's faces. I cannot stand people who make me get on a Zoom call and they don't share their camera. I can't communicate with someone just with my ears. There's so much to communication that only face-to-face you can receive. And, well, I don't like to turn on my camera. Get used to it. We got to sell with our face, folks. And if you're a sales leader, get on camera, talk to the camera, connect with people. But before you do the meeting, have a plan. What do you want to talk about? I suggest you do a segue, which is basically get everybody an opportunity to say some good news about something about them personally, something about them professionally. You want everyone to start sharing a conversation. Scorecard is basically, how are we doing as a group? I want to look at that scorecard. If someone on that scorecard is kicking booty, I want to recognize them. The most powerful thing that you can do as a sales leader is to acknowledge good performance. I'm going to acknowledge great performance of sales being made or extra levels of energy. Let's say last week they did 20 face-to-face visits, and then the next week they did 40, and they're booking more appointments, even though they're not selling, because maybe you got to have a long sales cycle. Acknowledge it. Even the worst salesperson on the team, if he made 3 calls last week and then started to make 8 calls this next week, acknowledge the improvement. People want to be seen. And when you see them and you say something, it's shining the light on them and giving them more energy. Sales review. This is what I would recommend for all salespeople to have a place to talk about what they are working on. Have every member of the team just stand up. This is what I did last week. This is my goal for this week, and sharing that. Now, the most powerful thing that you can do to inspire and shine some more light and give more energy is having that salesperson tell a story. Listen, I love sales stories. I love the sales stories that start with, yeah, I went in, popped in to see this customer, and they ran me out of the door. And it made me so freaking angry that I told myself, there is no way I am not getting this as a customer. And I spent the next 3 weeks trying to get into this account, and I found a customer, got a referral, I booked an appointment, and I closed that sale, and I showed them that I was the right fit for them. The sales story will inspire someone else. So when you're looking at your data and you're seeing someone that's selling, make them talk, share the story. Success leaves clues. Don't hide them, expose them, get them talking. And listen, people love to share what's working. It feels good to help. It feels good to share and inspire other people to do the things that they are also doing to sell. But if you don't have that conversation in a sales meeting, then you're missing why the sales meeting even exists. Now we have another topic, and that is customer and product headlines. All that is vocalizing new products that are out there and available. You're vocalizing customers that love what we are doing and sharing customers that are happy with us, right? Now, you could also talk about customers that are unhappy. And maybe you need to go through an exercise to figure out how do we get people to really understand what we're doing, or if we're doing something wrong, we need to bubble up issues to the organization so they know there's an issue. What I used to tell people is this. When you get on my sales call and you tell me there's an issue, it's my job to take that issue to the organization and say, boss, the sales team is hearing this. We do deployments and they're getting out and using our product. The next thing you know, they're having issues, and this is the issue. It's my role as a sales leader to bubble it up to the organization. And I have this policy that I usually like to do. If a salesperson bubbles it up and it's not solved, he keeps bubbling it up. He keeps bubbling it up until it's solved. Listen, you got to scream sometimes. Listen, when I say we, just people in leadership, right? Getting feedback. If they get it one time, you could give someone feedback, and it's a bad time to give them feedback because they're about to walk into a meeting. They're about to do something else. Next thing you know, guess what? They've forgotten about it. Totally forgotten what the topic was that was an issue, and it never got addressed. So keep bubbling it up. In my opinion too, is if your sales manager's it doesn't seem like it's getting done, my personal opinion, I would email the boss and say, listen, this is something that keeps happening. And now, obviously, there's a risk there, but I wanted to tell you, it's important to make sure that issues that are going on in the organization, if it's not getting solved in the sales meeting over a course of time, then keep bubbling up, especially if you know it's in fact affecting sales. No good owner of a company is going to ignore something that's broken, that's costing him or her money, right? I could not tell you how many times in leadership I did not know there was an issue and no one told me. And if someone just had to tell me, we could have solved that problem. Next thing, sales training and role practice. I will tell you, most organizations don't spend enough time and energy here, but it matters. When we role practice the top 8 objections in any company, when you go through that practice, it helps everyone hear what the top salespeople are saying to get over those top objections. As a reminder, how do you do role practice? It's 3 parts. One part, fake customer. Someone is in the sales team is the fake customer. Someone's the sales person, and someone's the witness. And the witness is listening to the language and providing feedback. The role practice makes a huge difference. You should be spending time in your sales team learning how to craft your sales process better. It's called practice for a reason. Why on earth would you practice with a real live client that could be worth millions of dollars, thousands of dollars, or thousands of opportunities for you? You don't want to practice with those people. Practice with the team you trust. Practice with the salespeople that have been there 8 freaking years that know how to overcome that particular objection. If you got a new salesperson on the team, they deserve to learn these things. How else are they going to learn this without practice? Don't let the practice be in the field. You want the practice to be in person with a trusted sales leadership team doing the right practice. Finally, we're going to conclude summary of some lessons learned, action items to be aware for the week, and rate the meeting. Why should you rate the sales meeting? If your team tells you that on a scale of 1 to 10, you got a 3, that means you're wasting your sales team's time. You should have such an amazing meeting that you are striving for a 10. A 10 tells me that the salespeople received the value of that meeting. You should be willing to practice over and over until you get a great sales meeting. It matters, folks. Listen, you get 10 people to spend an hour on a sales meeting. Think about the productivity that is being on pause, right? In order to do a meeting. Make the meeting matter, rate the meeting. This is what a scorecard should look like. You should have about the last 13 weeks of data on a spreadsheet with color coding it, whether it's red being you're outside of the line, or yellow, which is close, and green, which means we're good. But it's a way to quickly just look in here and make sure that we're on track with how we are doing things. All these things I've kind of addressed, but I want to talk about something that I recommend that every week we do. And this is something that's brand new into CallProof. We added a new functionality that allows you to do asynchronous video. And it's a great way to tell stories. It's a great way to do an ad hoc sales meeting, or salespeople get asked questions for the rest of the team and using video to respond to. But another way you can do it is create some kind of update, right? Some kind of update where you start the week. I mean, this is my recommendation. If you're not going to have a sales meeting, then utilize this strategy so you have the ability to at least get updates from the team, starting with the week. What do you want to commit to on Monday, right? Get every member of the team to commit to something. Maybe they're going to commit to the number of people they're going to visit. Maybe they're going to commit to the number of proposals they're going to do, but get a commitment. When you vocalize a commitment on video, you are psychologically talking to yourself, because you're recording yourself, your face. You're talking to yourself. You're saying, hey, Robert, I'm going to do this week. Now, everyone else in the team gets to see that, but that accountability subconsciously will affect the way you go about your day. When you tell yourself you're going to do something, you're going to do it. At the end of the week, just vocalize, you celebrate what you did in that week, and it inspires other people to do the same. So if you're not going to do a sales meeting, okay, I didn't convince you on a sales meeting. Okay, whatever floats your boat, at least do an update. You will see a dramatic shift in the daily disciplines of your salespeople when you kind of verbalize these things. Communicating with your team. So I want to tell you a different strategy to think about. You know, I used to tell people this. If you want to be a great sales manager, just do what good drug dealers do. What does a good drug dealer do? He gives you a sample, right? Gives you a sample to try it. Next thing you get hooked. Well, in our world, in leading salespeople, what's a sample? A sample is, Joey, I noticed last week you had 20 more appointments than the previous week. Dude, what are you doing? That is awesome. Tell me how you're doing so well. Do you know what that feels like to be him receiving positive feedback? It is a dopamine rush. It feels good to be acknowledged. So do what good drug dealers do. Give out a little bit of samples of the drugs, even if it's a small win that they're doing. Or you got a call from a customer and they're just gloating about how Joey was so awesome in front of the sales team, in front of him. Say how awesome he is. They deserve it. That's how you build up the momentum. Now, one of the challenging things that we do in sales or sales leadership is you got to give them negative feedback. That's not fun, right? Choose when you do the negative feedback. Choose the tool you use for negative feedback. If you need to tell someone negative feedback, choose to do it on the end of the day. Choose to do it live, meaning a phone call or live Zoom, or even better, face-to-face. But the efforts that you do in choosing the time in which you give them the feedback is meaningful. If you got a sales guy or gal is going to be leaving the office and going out there and prospecting today, why on earth would you give him negative news before he starts his day? Why on earth would you tell him he's not any good at what he does, or he's not fulfilling his obligations, or insert whatever negative feedback you're going to give him? You're just going to take the air out of his tires. Don't do it. You don't want him moping around the community trying to sell your product. Does that make any sense to you whatsoever? No, it doesn't. So be aware in the way you do that. Now, we have asynchronous video in CallProof where you can record a video. Never use that as a negative tool. Never, 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 ever. You are a ball of energy. Your sales team is also a ball of energy. Don't take their light. You can only supply them more light, and you're going to get more opportunities, more sales. But yes, sometimes you have to have the hard conversations, but do it in the evening. Do it in the afternoon. Do it in such a way that it's not going to impact their sales day. If you haven't heard of CallProof, we have an app for outside sales teams that helps you talk to more people, makes it easy for doing routing. You can scan business cards, add them quickly, track your face-to-face, your follow-ups, all those things, and talk to your team. If you haven't heard about us, we'd love to get you in a trial. If you are a salesperson, you're a sales leader, and you are looking for extra help on how you could incorporate best practices, we're happy to get on a call, happy to help you guys. One thing you guys may not know, we have a team of people behind the curtain here that helps sales teams work, meaning they are outsourced sales managers. So if you don't have a sales manager and you're the owner that I talked about, you got this negative mindset and you're just not getting the results that you want, and you want an outside party to come in and help lead the sales team, please think of us. Please think of CallProof, because we have a program, we have a plan that we can put your team through so we can grow those sales together. Now, I'm excited to share something for the month of April. I love April. You know why I love April? I love April because I was born in April, number one. Number two, I love April because it is springtime and the sun is out. The birds are chirping. I get to do my walks in the afternoon, and I just love the sun. I love the springtime. All of that is so special, but even special more than that is the Sales Hustle Challenge. So if you want to come and join me next Monday, it will be a special surprise. We're going to talk about the Sales Hustle Challenge. We are going to walk you through some daily disciplines with a team where we're going to track the work that we do in the daily disciplines. Think of this as a group of driven people who want to see their paycheck explode. I'm talking more sales. I'm talking more generated revenue than ever before with a different level of energy. If you don't have the energy when you start in your sales week, I want to be that energy, because I'm going to start having a deeper conversation with you guys. I'm going to start sharing some practices that I've talked about in the past, but more in a community setting. And people are going to start coming to this Sales Hustle Challenge. It is a 60-day program. We're going to talk about, let's set some goals and let's set the daily activities that we know we need to be taking to win. And if you do this process, I believe you're going to grow your paycheck. I believe you're going to inspire others. I believe you're going to start to enjoy the act of selling, because selling is fun. Selling is rewarding when we do hard work and overcome hard things. It feels good and it generates a sense of purpose in what we do when we sell. You have a product to sell. You add a lot of value with that sale. The customer's going to love you. The customer's going to refer more people to you. I want you to come join the Sales Hustle Challenge. It is going to be a community, and we're going to be meeting every single Monday, and we'll be talking about the Sales Hustle Challenge. It is 60 days. How much does it cost, folks? It costs your energy. That's what it's going to cost. It costs your energy into you. If you are willing to put you first and put you into the next level of where you know you are deserving to be. Maybe you're coasting right now. Maybe you've been okay coasting. Maybe you're fine coasting. Keep coasting. But maybe you want to get into the fast lane and just experience a little jolt of energy that's going to help power you through, and just to see, what if I did some daily sales habits over the next 60 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, relax, Sunday, relax. But if you stay focused in 60 days, what could you be? Who could you become? What cool trip could you plan for the summer with the sales that you're going to make this spring? Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of March. And if you guys need me, you guys know how to reach us. We're at support@callproof.com. If you want to reach out to me, you're more than welcome to email me at robert@callproof.com. Happy to help all of you with what you guys need, some extra energy, but otherwise I will see you on Monday at 10 Central. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.